Om. If this video has found you, then it is time. It's time to level up. It's time for the next energetic upgrade to your nervous system, to your consciousness, to the thoughts you're having, to your body. The time has come, and I'm just the messenger, so get ready. Big changes are coming if you allow them to come, if you allow the space within yourself to be transformed, to be transmuted. And it's time to stop trying. It's time to stop grinding. It's time to stop making an effort and working more or harder to prove to yourself or to somebody else, I don't know what, right? Sometimes we get on these loops of trying more or harder or grinding, as if that is really going to help and not just cause burnout and potential stagnation, right? And if this has found you, I believe I'm really talking to the empaths, the psychics, the healers, the sensitive ones, the dreamers, the ones with visions that are too big or too confusing or too crazy for this current world. So if that is you, my friend, then it's your time to really drop the facade, to drop the mask, to drop pretending to be living something that isn't true to who you are or to what you truly want. You know, it's easy to go after dreams and almost ghosts, right? Easy to go after these echoes of things others have done or said, which look appealing, look sexy, they might look fun, but is that really what you're here to do? Only you can answer that. What I can tell you today, the time has come to start living in a new way, to start changing your approach to your life, to how you perceive life, to how you perceive yourself, to how you perceive others, right? These things are in a constant state of flux. And the moment we can be more aware of them and have more conscious over all these various aspects of ourselves, the quicker and the more beautiful and the more aligned your life will be. Through the simple, almost mathematical, right? Like an equation, you change the input, the output must change. It's how it goes, right? So in many ways, this universe is mysterious and magical, and in others, it's quite simple and straightforward. So as you drop these ideas, as you drop these perceptions of who you were yesterday, right? It's time to embrace and become who you truly are. This is new earth vibration, right? This is the quantum. This is tapping into the quantum. This is connecting with the frequency and vibration that you are emitting and seeing how that relates to the larger whole, right? It's like dropping a pebble in the lake. And depending on the pebble, depending on the size of the pebble, all the factors that come into that, it will give a different ripple. So it's time to stop trying and stop putting in all this effort and grind and to start becoming. Becoming what? Becoming who you are, who you're meant to be, right? Most of us are not being ourselves or who we truly are, right? Most of us are contorting themselves and reshaping and reforming ourselves to fit other people, to fit society, to fit a certain image that you are trying to uphold, right? But think about that. Think about the ways you shift and change yourself. You know, we've done it since kids, right? We did it for our family, we did it for our school, we did it for the state, you know? So there's a lot that each of us has to undo or unprogram in order to get back to what we could call like the zero state, the conscious state. Hola. The awareness of life, the awareness, right? It's open awareness. So getting back in touch with that is key here, okay? Is key to even thinking or beginning to live in this quantum way where you're simply being, okay? So here's where it gets really fun. This is where it gets really fun, because what I've come to really understand and see more and more clearly in my life is that life doesn't respond to who you think you are or to who you want to be, but it rather responds to who you are, right? To who you're being. Okay, so in that beingness, there is no, in that beingness, there is truth, right? You could tell who someone is by how they look, by how they talk, by what they say, because all our actions are basically giving us away, right? They're telling the world who we are. So instead of trying to be something, right, and like the dialogue I hear so often is, you know, oh, I'm trying to become, you know, this thing. I'm trying to become. I'm working at. I'm trying to become. But the truth with that is that vibrationally, the signal that's being sent is I don't quite have that, right? Oh, I'm working at becoming. I'm grinding at becoming, you know, an artist, a doctor, you know, an astronaut, whatever, or like, you know what I mean, more things that are within your field, right? So instead of this energy of trying and the effort energy, it's an energy of being. So who are we deeply, deeply, deeply beneath what your mind says, right? So a clear example, if we're trying to be wealthy, if we're trying to live a good life, a good simple life with abundance, you know, you could be trying to become abundant, or you could start becoming abundant, right? And then you start looking at, okay, so what does an abundant person do? What does an abundant person live like, right? Well, to start, they give freely, right? They give freely, and they somehow always have enough, and you know, they're always kind of in a good mood, and they don't feel tight, right? And an abundant person feels expansive, right? A creative person feels creative, right? A rich person feels rich. A friendly person feels friendly, right? A loving person feels loving. So the key is to become. We're becoming, right? And in that becoming, everything transforms. In that understanding, in that, again, it's beingness. So the key here is just simply to be, my friend, is to be. The invitation is to be more of who you are and not to like effort it, right? That's really the key here. And the difference that the universe will understand, right? So you go from trying to someone who does, who is, right? And there is a period of like delusion or fantasy in between when you are wanting to become this next version of yourself, right? You have to Basically, believe it before it shows up. Okay? So, for a long time, I've been wanting to be here and to live here. And every morning when I would go on my walks where I used to live by the beach, I would literally imagine these beautiful apus here, these volcanoes, these mountains. I would imagine myself walking there. I would imagine the lake. I would imagine the sounds. And I would just do that, right? I would repeat that. And eventually, the universe conspires in your favor, right? The universe is initially always conspiring in our favor. But because you're sending mixed signals, it's harder for the universe to take you seriously. So stop trying so hard, right? So release, you open up, you let the waters flow. You absolutely let these beautiful waters of yours to flow, right? You release and you start to take stock of what is there for you, right? What is present? This is what you need to ask yourself. What is present in my life? What is truly my dreams? What is truly my desires? And what is my karma, right? Like, what am I working with, right? What kind of a body? What kind of a language? What kind of a ecosystem, right? All these things that you take into account. So I'm still saying be grounded, right? Be grounded and remember you're still a human, right? And there's still things you will have to do or not do. So it's about balance. It's about understanding. It's about play. It's about remembering to play and to have fun. Because we are extensions of Source, my friends. If you're still watching, you are an extension of Source. And the more you can believe that, the more you can live from this place, the more fun you're gonna have. Because there's less things to take seriously. We're just out here having a good time, enjoying ourselves, learning how to create, learning how to be expressive creators, right? How to be expressions of God, expressions of the divine. And that all comes from being, right? God doesn't try, right? God does, right? So take on this new awareness of yourself as the thing that you want, as the creator, as the healer, as the abundant, expressive, loving person, right? Become that. And from there, you can take action and you can do things, but it will be inspired action, right? It will be action from a place of love, of play, of joy, not of lack, right? Because remember, the universe works by vibration. So the vibration you're sending, you could be saying, you know, I'm happy and abundant, but if your deeper core vibration isn't matching that, that's a mixed signal, right? And we want to make sure our stream, our signal is as clear, as direct as possible, so that we can be in direct communion with the divine, with the universe, with life, with each other, and that we can receive what's truly meant for us, right? That's what this is all about at the end of the day. Stop trying, start becoming. Become who you are. Become your higher self. Live it, love it, and express it. Till the next one, with much, much love. Maldeus.